just when you thought it was going to be a slow news week, Rachel Zegler comes along with one of her classic freakouts. But this one ended differently than most. Stick around to hear more. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the movie monster. Rachel Zegler is an incredibly popular figure in modern pop culture.
This is a lie.
Oh, I don't mean to say that she's a popular actress. Oh, goodness, no. AEW shows get better attendance than her movies. Goku chose to fight Vegeta at the premiere of West Side Story in order to ensure that no living thing was hurt. No, I mean she's popular with the content creation industry. A brash, narcissistic, opinionated, loudmouth, woke 23-year-old who doesn't understand the concept of less is more and can't help but embarrass herself every time she opens her mouth? She's the chosen one, ladies and gentlemen. But you have to give her credit. Most true artists that have released as many great hits as her find it hard to continue to keep topping themselves, leaving their legions of fans yearning for the glory days. But Rachel Zegler cringe ages like a fine wine. She topped the charts with classics like Weird, Weird, That's Hollywood, Baby, and using her widely despised trailer to advocate for conflicts in the Middle East, despite her co-star being a military veteran of the country she maligned. And don't get me wrong, there have been challenges to the crown. Upstart social media goblin Cynthia Erivo came for her with huge swings like this is the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen, and claiming she's the best alphabet because of her race and sexuality. But Zegler proved why she's the queen of cringe this last week, embarking on a tale that the world's greatest social commentary bards will sing of until the end of time. There once was a loudmouth named Zegler. Fee-fi, fee-fiddle-dee-dee. She threatened more than half the country, then pretended to say she's sorry. Just a warning here, folks. Due to the nature of this topic, we are going to get into political topics, including the U.S. presidential election. However, I'm not providing commentary on the politics themselves, just her reaction to it. So anything I say about the election will be a fact, like going over the result and actual reported numbers. No editorializing or opinions offered. Like I always say, this is not a political channel, and I don't provide political opinions in public. I believe that everyone is entitled to their political opinions, and that it's a personal choice. I also don't believe that your opinions on things like movies, TV, and video game writing coincide with how you think nations should be governed. So if you don't even want the whiff of that, then I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. But if you're all right with some peripheral political topics, then stick with me. You still here? Good! Let's hear from our favorite little wackadoodle today on Tooneytown TV. All right, guys, here we go. Disney's Snow White actress, Rachel Zegler, causes controversy with unhinged social media election tantrum. Hopes that Donald Trump supporters never know peace. Now, this is from thatparkplace.com, and it's written by yours truly, M. Montanero, which is Marvin the Movie Monster. So another day, another Rachel Zegler controversy. Disney's Snow White actress launched into an unhinged social media meltdown, flying off the handle in the wake of President-elect Donald Trump's victory over Vice President Kamala Harris. Zegler apparently posted parts of the long diatribe maligning and appearing to wish harm or misfortune on the incoming president and the 75.5 million Americans who voted for him to her Instagram account. This is the best part. During the intermission of Romeo and Juliet, the Broadway show she's currently starring in. So she just got off the stage. You know, she just did an entire first act of the show. It's Shakespeare. It's very difficult subject matter. The first thing she does is she sits down, she grabs her phone, and she just starts doing all the nonsense that we're about to read. So the following images were posted on X by a user named Steph Annie. Her handle is @mynerdyhome. If you guys want to give her a follow, she always has good stuff. But you know what? Let's look at these one at a time here. I find myself. By the way, for you Tooneytown wrestling fans, I am aware that my Rachel Zegler voice is the exact same voice as my Mercedes Moné voice. I think we can all agree it works for both of them. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us toward a world I do not want to live in, leading us toward a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in, leading us toward a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, leading us towards a world that is fearful. All right, and then as I know here, it should be noted that Zegler is not a mother, and this daughter she spoke of in her rant is purely hypothetical.
I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke to fear this morning, and I am here with you. Who you kidding, lady? You don't have any friends. And if you do, I would hate to meet them and see what they're like. Oh, man alive. To cry, to yell, to hug. Well, that sounds like Thanksgiving at my parents' house. To wax poetic about how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. Zegler then goes on to apparently wish harm and or hardship upon the incoming president and those 75.5 million Americans who voted for him. I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump himself never know peace.
Now, look, guys, I have no problem with anything that she said leading up to that last line, because that's her political opinion. She's entitled to it. She's an American. She can have it. She can voice it. That's part of living in a free society, and I support free speech. I have the free speech to be able to agree or disagree with whatever anybody says and whatever anybody does. That's the beautiful thing. Where I have the problem is that last line. I hope Trump supporters and Trump himself never know peace, because that's what we step beyond political commentary and we step into the realm of wishing harm or hardship on other people. And some people were like, when I wrote this article, they were like, Marv, you're being too harsh. That's not a threat. It's, she's just saying they never know peace. I said, no, that's why I said harm or hardship, because never know peace can mean a lot of things. It could mean that you live a violent life. It could mean that you just live a life full of anguish. It could mean that you're sad all the time. But either way, she's wishing hardship or harm on 75.5 million people. That's not okay. That's not okay. And it should have gotten her deplatformed off of Instagram. If Instagram had Instagram will come after Kevin Apollo for everything that he says, a co-host over on Tooney Talk TV, but they won't go after her for wishing harm on 75.5 million Americans. That's absolutely insane to me. That just proves that it's all about who you know and how powerful you are. And for her to be this powerful with the lack of success that she has had in Hollywood, yes, she's been in things, but none of those things make money. Even the Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which made money, is the by far lowest grossing Hunger Games movie of all time. It was supposed to be a grand return for this franchise that was so deeply popular, and nobody cared. So as I say, the Hollywood actress who has yet to appear in a successful film then describes what she refers to as a deep, deep sickness in this country over the overwhelming amount of people who showed up to vote for President-elect Trump before calling him a threat to democracy. It is a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity, she said, using a lot of big words and essentially chalking up Trump's win to who she feels are insecure, stupid American men. It should be noted, for clarity's sake, that Trump won 46% of the female vote. Again, guys, that's not a political opinion. That is a fact. Those are cold, hard numbers, and they don't lie. There is no help, no counsel in any of them. So she's still just maligning the voters. So here's the thing. You know how I said, like, I've got no problem with Rachel Zegler because of what she said up until the threat when she was just presenting her political opinion? She clearly does not have the same thought process as me here, because she is saying that she's basically attacking the voters directly, which is something that is stupid to do. It's the will of the people. That's what the country was founded on. It was the will of the people when your person gets elected. It's the will of the people when their person gets elected. That's what makes democracy continue to turn, folks. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You can hate the result, but the result is what it is. She goes, I could go on. I won't. She then goes on. Zegler's attack moved from American voters to ex-owner and world's richest man, Elon Musk. Get off Elon's app, by the way. The F are you doing? They're eating you up on Twitter. I don't use that app for a reason. He helped get that man elected, and you're giving him business. Okay, that's all, she said. Going on stage for Act 2 now and need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. She then proceeds to get more heated by ending her diatribe with F the incoming president. Yep, and there she is, guys. All that the face that launched negative dollars.
Now, here's what people are pointing out in droves about this whole situation. So Disney and Lucasfilm fired Gina Carano, Star Wars actress Gina Carano, from her critically acclaimed role in The Mandalorian as Cara Dune, because she shared a meme on Twitter that drew a comparison between how liberals turn on and demonize conservatives and how the German people turned on their neighbors during the rise of the Yahtzee party. Now, it's important to note that Carano had simply shared a meme without commentary. Zegler went on a profanity-laced tirade in which she appeared to wish misfortune on half the country. Yet Carano was vilified publicly. That is a thing. They publicly vilified her and fired her, tried to put her through a struggle session, while Zegler's Snow White will come out in theaters next year, with the star likely going on press tours and being celebrated by the company. And there she is, Gina Carano. Now, she's suing the company for wrongful termination and discrimination, and she's backed by Elon Musk and all of his billions upon billions of dollars. And this is only adding fuel to that fire. Oh, and by the way, you know who one of the people maligning Gina Carano was during that whole situation? Rachel Zegler. So here's another interesting turn of events that happened just a day later. Rachel Zegler's Snow White reboot snubbed and ignored by Bob Iger during Disney Q4 earnings call. And this is once again That Park Place, written by yours truly, Marvin Montanaro, the movie monster. Rachel Zegler's Snow White reboot got no love from Disney CEO Bob Iger today, as the big cheese of the House of Mouse utterly ignored the big budget live action remake of Disney's first animated classic while touting the company's 2025 film slate during the Disney earnings call. So now, for those of you that don't know what the Disney earnings call is, Bob Iger and the CFO of the company, Hugh space Johnston, don't say that name too fast, folks, you'll get demonetized, get on a call with all of the Disney investors, and they talk about how great everything's going, even when things aren't going very great. And then they take questions and they answer. So Iger starts it off by being like, hey, this is how great the Disney company is doing, even when it's not doing that great. One of the things that he did was run down the 2025 movie slate. He said, looking to 2025, we have an extremely positive content slate, including Captain America, Brave New World, Lilo and Stitch, The Fantastic Four, First Steps, Zootopia 2, and Avatar Fire and Ash. You guys notice what's not on there? Yeah, Freakier Friday. What's going on? Why is Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis not getting any love? No, I'm kidding, guys. Well, also that wasn't mentioned either. But Rachel Zegler's Snow White, a movie that has ballooned to a budget of reportedly $500 million, not mentioned by the CEO. A remake of the first animated classic, the movie that started Disney films, essentially, that started animated movies in general to be feature-length films. It's a very important movie, not just to Disney, but to movies. And a remake of it, a Disney remake of it, should be a huge deal. And it got no mention whatsoever. And this is the second earnings call in a row where Iger failed to mention the Zegler-led project. And it comes just days after the outspoken star made a spectacle of herself on social media. Still, though, I think a lot of people were like, oh, there's no connection there. He just didn't mention it. It's not a big deal. Well, let's take a look at a day later. Disney Snow White actress Rachel Zegler issues apology after unhinged election meltdown. But did she write it? Once again, That Park Place and Montanaro. If you're not bookmarked on that page, then what are you waiting for, guys? You should be getting all of your entertainment news there. Now, this is quite the difference from Rachel Zegler's normal turn of events that happens after one of her freakouts, because she doubles down, she tells everyone that she's the victim, and she compares herself to maligned women throughout history. It's happened over and over and over again. This is the first time she's actually admitted to wrongdoing and basically humbled herself, essentially, if she's capable of that. But I'm going to point out here a few inconsistencies that are going to make us question some things. So Disney's Snow White actress Rachel Zegler issued an apology last night for an unhinged profanity-laced meltdown where she appeared to wish harm or misfortune against President-elect Donald Trump and the 75.5 million Americans who voted for him. But inconsistencies between the apology and the initial rant lead one to wonder, did she actually write it? So she said, this is once again put out on X by Steph Annie at My Nerdy Home. And so she goes, hi, everyone. I would like to sincerely apologize for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding. And I'm sorry that I contributed to the negative discourse. This week has been emotional for so many of us, but I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion, even when it differs from my own. Since when? Since when, lady? You've never had that. You have always had the hardline stance that your opinion is correct. Everyone else's opinion that differs from you is wrong, and that those people don't deserve to be a part of modern society. So shut up. You're not fooling anyone. I am committed to contributing positively toward a better tomorrow. All right. Where do I begin? Also, in an Instagram post that she had made prior to the election, she encouraged anyone who wasn't voting for Kamala Harris to unfollow her. So once again, that doesn't make any sense of what she said. Now, let's take a look at what she had said before. I find myself so now we read all this already. We understand this. Look at the way this is written. Every single word is lowercase. Now, the way this is written, flawless grammar. We have capitalization. We have commas. We have punctuation. Now, she did punctuation in the original as well, but like this is like spot on. This is somebody wrote this for her. Now, take a look at what she said here, because this is something that I found very interesting. Contributing positively toward a better tomorrow. Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby. Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. Toward versus towards, guys. Now, that might not seem like much, but it is, because one is right and one is wrong. First of all, toward is correct. It's singular. It's not towards. That's ridiculous, but everybody does it. But I'm just saying, like, when you typically write one, you write it that way every single time. So, guys, she didn't write this. This was written for her by some, I don't know if it was her publicist or if somebody in Disney PR wrote it for her and handed it to her and told her to put it up on her Instagram, which is insane to me that she had to put it on Instagram, because honestly, she should have had to read it. She should have to do a video. She should have had to like really humble herself, look into the camera.
你好，中国，这是叫西呢。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。
Tell 75.5 million Americans that you're sorry for what you said. But she didn't do that. She chose instead to copy paste into Instagram. So, well, there you go, guys. Rachel Zegler's big apology. So what do you guys think? Do you believe Rachel Zegler's apology? Do you believe she wrote it? Do you believe somebody at Disney handed it down to her? Do you believe it was her publicist? Do you believe she woke up in the morning and was just like, hey, wait a minute, I did something wrong? Or did Bob Iger or one of his subordinates call her and go, what did you do? Sound off in the comments below and let me know. And guys, if I'm completely off base, let me know. I'm not so stubborn in my beliefs that I can't be swayed by a well-reasoned argument. So I want to hear from you. Hit the comments, hit the like, hit the share, and let me know what you think about the latest Rachel Zegler meltdown.
Just when we thought that we all knew the tune of the Rachel Zegler experience, she changed it up, switching her grand finale from righteous indignation and doubling down to a forced, cringy apology. And make no mistake about it, guys, there was nothing genuine about that apology. She didn't choose to apologize because she had a sudden change of heart and realized that what she said was stupid. She just finally went too far, and Disney, already staring down the barrel of 1.3 million dislikes on a trailer for a movie that cost $500 million, told her what was what.
Make money!
And don't think for a second that that's because Disney believes she was wrong either. Most of the people telling her to apologize and writing the apology for her likely feel the exact same way. But they've got more common sense than this 23-year-old idiot. They understand that the studio needs to break $1 billion to see penny one of profit on this movie, and that the chances of that happening are slim to none. Eventually, loudmouth morons come to learn how the game is played, but by the time they do, it's sometimes too late. Take a look at Marvel. Brie Larson figured it out because she was forced to. The Marvels bombing the way it did was a huge wake-up call, and she got really quiet really fast. Feige, however, refuses to let Captain Marvel go, so she's coming back.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
However, you notice she's not saying stupid things anymore like she did going into Avengers Endgame. She learned that she needs to keep her mouth shut and just get paid. Then you have Tatiana Maslany, the actress who played She-Hulk. Now, she shot her mouth off at the fans and then went so far as to attack the studio after her disaster of a show bombed, and now she's got nothing significant coming down the pipeline. And other than timing, what's the major difference between the two? Brie Larson has a $1 billion movie and an Oscar win under her belt. That goes a long way in Hollywood with tolerance. Tatiana Maslany can't get a hit to save her life, which is exactly like who? Yup, Rachel Zegler. I gotta think Hollywood is done with her now, but man, I truly hope that I'm wrong. I wish Miss Zegler a long and storied Hollywood career, because while she might not be making any money for the studios that sign her, she is making a lot of money for me.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind.
Thanks for joining us this week, and a special thanks to our Tooneytown TV channel members. You guys are the ones keeping this channel moving and grooving, and for that, I sincerely thank you. You get special perks like original programming and early access to every Tooneytown TV video. So if you're not a member of the Tooneytown TV channel, join today. And make sure you all tune in Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST for Tooney Talk TV on live stream pop culture podcast, where you can make your voice heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!